Hey guys, how you doing? This is Richard. I'm out here at one of my offices near the river. I hope you're having a good day. This is the day after the midterm elections, and we have a lot to celebrate because the Democrats won the House of Representatives in the U.S. and just wanted to remind you how grateful we should all be. A special thank you to some of our favorite global corporations that made it possible. Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the mainstream media in general, New York Times, all the major magazines, Washington Post. We owe so much to them because without their help, all of them, including the social media, we would never have been able to understand who to vote for, how evil all the Republicans were, and how the Democrats are back with time-tested policies and truths like open borders, explaining that all borders are racist, and the caravan approaching the southern border of the U.S. right now, the multiple caravans, they're actually all women and children under 2 years of age, and they're just, some of them are even crawling to get away from their oppressive circumstances, and they just want to come to our country and love America. And the evil Border Patrol and ICE agents who just want to torture children at the orders of the current president, they need to learn from the new House members that are coming in to control the House that borders are evil and racist, and they should all just welcome the invaders, I mean the asylum seekers, with open arms and let them in with no questions at all. In fact, they should be given free housing, free bus pass to the city of their choice, and free welfare, free food stamps, whatever they need, because anything else is racist. And fortunately, people are starting to understand that, and they elected the Democrats to control the House, so you can tell they're understanding better. They also know, right in line with that, that white men are the main problem in the world. They've been racist tyrants in America for 10,000 years, as we had clarified by Michael Moore recently. Thank you, Michael. Also, conventional families are very hurtful to people that never had a mother or a father and don't have a family. So conventional families should try to stay more low profile and more apologetic, as very guilty would help a lot, so that other people are not so hurt by their existence. Also, just running quickly through the list of things that the Democrats are going to help us bring into being now in the House. We need taxes to be higher. Why? Obvious. Such an obvious question. We need higher taxes so that more things can be free. Because if you don't have free things, they're too expensive, and then you're oppressed. So if the taxes are higher, it's just higher on the evil, rich white men anyway, and then more things can be free to the good people. The other thing I wanted to say is that free speech, it's in the Constitution, which, even though that's outdated and archaic and supposed to be a living document, everyone should be guaranteed free speech as long as it's not harmful, hurtful, or offensive to anyone. And the new Democratic leadership is going to help us decide what's hateful, hurtful, or offensive, so that that question will be over. To make things even better, we really need, as soon as possible, to make America a gun-free zone, because how long are we going to put up with gun violence? And it's time to realize no more. If it's a total gun-free zone, where are the bad people going to go to commit gun violence with their guns? There won't be any place, as long as we make sure that it's posted everywhere. Because if it's not posted, how is the criminal going to know that it's a gun-free zone? This is so obvious. It's time that we really became intelligent about things. And as far as the problem that the Republicans like to refer to of people illegally carrying and using firearms, we need to post a new law that it's illegal to illegally carry or use a firearm. And that should end the last of the gun violence. Beyond that, we want to make it clear that any religion or belief system that promotes murder, rape, terror, conquering the world, things like that, for God, is by definition a religion of peace. That will end religious, what would you call it, phobias, and everybody will get along much better. Back to the tax issue for a minute. Corporations and rich people, this is so simple, but I'm explaining it to the Republicans who don't understand. Corporations and rich people must pay higher taxes so that they'll stay in the country and provide more jobs. Because if they pay higher taxes, then they can't afford to leave, and they'll have to stay here and provide more jobs. It's just obvious common sense. In general, America needs more regulations to ensure freedom, because otherwise, if people aren't regulated, they'll do things that impinge on the freedom of other people. This is a little complicated, but you can understand it. So more regulations mean more freedom. That's one of the big faults of the current administration, cutting regulations. Next, nationalism, the new N-word, which was mentioned by the current president in a recent rally. This is racist and hateful, obviously. I mean, so many terrible dictators were nationalists, right? And people who are trying to help their own country could never be nationalists, because nationalist is fascist, and we can't have anything like that. Only globalism, that's the only thing that can ensure peace and tranquility and harmony in the world. All people happily under the tyranny of one central benevolent government that cares about you. The last thing on the list that I'll mention, and of course the list is longer, but this is just a list of things that the new Democratic leadership in the House can help us achieve now that the obstructing Republicans are moved out of the way so that the Democrats can be in control. The last thing I want to say is that climate change must be stopped. There cannot be any climate change from this point on, and the new Democratic leadership understands that. How do you stop all climate change? Carbon taxes. So we need carbon taxes and a new climate accord like the great Paris Accord that the U.S. unfortunately didn't join. We need a new climate accord that pays as much as possible to the cartels that are setting up trading in carbon taxes. Because if nobody pays into it, they can't trade them, and then the climate will still change. That, again, that's so obvious. And man-made climate change has nothing to do with things like geoengineering or things. It's because we are too selfish. We use energy, and we have to stop doing that. And the Democrats understand that, and they'll bring us back to sanity. So next election cycle, we can get rid of the rest of the Republicans, be well on our way to utopia, and it should be, some countries have already achieved it in the world, so how much harder could it be for us to do it with the resources that America has? Just look at Venezuela, North Korea, Communist China. These countries are utopias, waiting for America to catch up. The Democrats are going to help us do that, so thank God that we're on the way. Talk to you soon.